Hi, everyone. I'm Dimitri Restaino. I'm a solutions architect with AWS, Amazon Web Services. I actually come from a developer background, so super excited to be here with you guys, tell you about what we're doing in the Web3 space. We'll talk a little bit about what cloud is and some of the benefits. We'll talk through a couple of services and architecture patterns that we see in the industry. And then we'll end with what AWS is doing to give back to the Web3 space. Here I have a quote from somebody that we saw speak today. Not one of his jokes, but it says, if the crypto markets are sending us any signal, it's that we're all in this together. We need to work together to grow. So in order to grow, we need to be building applications that are secure, cost-effective, integrated, scalable, and global. And that's really AWS's mission in this space, is to empower the builders to redefine the internet by giving them the right tools and world-class security, because we know those are both very important parts to this journey. So here we have some companies that we currently work with. So we have Binance, Coinbase, Crypto.com, some of the big crypto exchanges. We have some CeFi and DeFi projects. We have dev and infrastructure tools, some layer 1s and layer 2s. We partner with Ripple quite a bit. But we work with companies of all sizes. So, hoping to see some of your companies on here sometime soon. So AWS has had a lot of success in the Web3 space, and it really comes down to these 4 pillars. So first, world-class infrastructure. So we have over 200 fully featured services that range from compute, storage, analytics, AI, ML. So we really have services to fit any kind of workload. We have go-to-market and partnerships across the Web3 ecosystem. So we have business, technical guidance, specialists in all kinds of verticals, fintech, GameFi, sports, and we're happy to help you through the journey, no matter what stage you're at. We have the ability to go global and gain visibility in minutes. So we have 102 availability zones, 32 geographic regions, and this is only expanding. So we have 4 more regions planned, Canada, Thailand, Malaysia, and New Zealand currently. But that list grows. I actually just updated this presentation. It said 27, and that was from like a year ago. So that number is just getting bigger and bigger. And then we also have extremely strong security and compliance. So we have 15+ fully featured security services to help you meet really any kinds of security regulation or compliance needs that your application has. So here's a couple of services that I picked out that we see super popular in the industry. Naturally, we have Amazon EC2. So this is really your virtual servers in the cloud. And these are incredibly scalable and powerful, cost-effective. And you configure the storage, the networking, and really anything to fit your application, EC2 can fit it. And then we have security services. So in this space, key management service and cloud HSM, these both enable you to generate and store cryptographic keys. So in the Web3 space, these are natural fits. Storage, we have Elastic Block Store, which is block storage for your EC2 instances. And we have a couple of different flavors there, depending on your IOPS or throughput needs. Amazon S3, or Simple Storage Service. So this is your object storage in the cloud. It's extremely scalable and can really fit any amount of data that you can throw at it. So it's great for all kinds of workloads. And then lastly, we have Amazon API Gateway, which is really our front door for your applications. So it has a bunch of tools for security, monitoring, scaling, anything like that. So with these services, we'll start to take a look at some of the top use cases that we see and how these services fit in. So here we have hosting a blockchain node on AWS. So we know blockchain nodes are critical to the decentralization of layer 1s and layer 2s. So typically they store a decentralized ledger and perform certain functions to validate the legitimacy of transactions. So in this example below, we have EC2, which could be running Ripple D, and then you have Amazon Elastic Block Store, which is holding a historical copy of the ledger. And in the example on the bottom right, we have Prometheus, which is doing some monitoring of the instance. So you're getting some metrics on the EC2 instance itself. And then you have Grafana as a virtualization or visualization tool, so dashboarding, that kind of thing. And yeah, so this is great for layer 1s and layer 2s. You're just normal hosting a node. And these are the services that we're using. So we have a managed service for Prometheus. We also have managed Grafana, so you can stay within the Amazon ecosystem. Next, we have securing blockchain key management with Nitro enclaves. So the AWS Nitro system is something that we're extremely proud about. So it's building security in at the chip level. So Nitro enclaves provide a isolated compute environment, which allow you to do some things kind of off the network. So in this scenario, on the bottom right, we're securing key management. So we have a Nitro enclave signing server, and this is connected with VPC endpoints to AWS Secrets Manager and KMS, which is Key Management Service. So these VPC endpoints allow your everything to stay within the AWS network. So none of that data is leaving, nothing's getting exposed to public internet. And like I was saying, that Nitro enclave is isolated. So this is super powerful, and we see in Web3, the Nitro is a big differentiator, the Nitro system for AWS. Actually, just to touch on, so this is a big pattern for wallet as a service providers and custodians, anywhere where you interact with the blockchain. Here we have scaling blockchain applications through serverless infrastructure. So we know that developing Web3 infrastructure comes with evolving challenges, especially managing the back end of that system. So serverless architecture enables you to seamlessly scale as events come in, which takes away the undifferentiated heavy lifting of managing your application and the actual infrastructure behind it. So this allows you to focus on building your product and what matters most, your business logic. So we see this architecture in a lot of NFT minting use cases, dealing with token metadata, Web3 marketplaces, and that kind of thing. So AWS Lambda is our real top player in this field, our top service. So AWS Lambda is serverless compute, and that is basically like function as a service. So as events come in, that Lambda gets triggered and runs your code, and you're only paying for that time that Lambda is running. So this allows you to build some really cost-effective but powerful architectures. So in this bottom right architecture, we have our client connecting to the presentation layer, which is in Amazon S3, probably a single-page web app, which is fronted by CloudFront, which is our CDN, or Content Delivery Network. And then our application layer is Amazon API Gateway, which authenticates with Amazon Cognito, which is just an authentication provider. And that is sending messages to AWS Lambda, which is our serverless compute there. So there's some kind of processing going on, and that is interacting with DynamoDB, our NoSQL database. So in this example, it's an NFT application. So you're probably saving the asset location to DynamoDB, and then you are interacting directly with an XRPL node running on EC2, which is saving to the ledger. And then the last use case we have here is indexing, managing, and processing large volumes of data securely. So we know that off-chain data and computation is super important, and there's no shortage of data in this day and age. So we have Amazon S3 as our main data lake, making it easy to index, manage, and process large volumes. So we see this a lot for off-chain analytics. So like I was saying, Amazon S3 is used as the data lake. And then we have Amazon EMR and Glue. So this is a MapReduce service and then an ETL service. So this can allow you to do some kind of processing. And in this example on the right, we're performing analytics, also in a serverless fashion. So we have our EC2 XRPL node. And then we have that is creating events which are being listened to by, in this example, we have EKS and ECS, which are our container services. And those are running on AWS Fargate, which is a lot of AWS lingo, but that just basically means that it's running in a serverless fashion. So as events come in, those containers get spun up and then do some kind of processing. Amazon Kinesis then sends that data through to S3, which is saving that in the data lake. And then from there, once your data is in the data lake, you can have Amazon Athena, which is a serverless query service, make views and kind of analyze that data. And you can put that right out to your analyst front end. So that's a super powerful pattern that we see customers dealing with on-chain analytics a lot, but also digital asset markets, CeFi, DeFi projects, things like that. So lastly, I just want to touch on some of the different ways that we invest and contribute back to the Web3 community. So these are some things that you could actually act on today. So we have security best practices. We put out a lot of blogs, white papers, articles, all around, and quick starts, all around security best practices and ways that you can reach your security goals in a compliant way. Some of these are even Web3 specific. We have a range of startup and founder support programs. So depending on what stage your company is in, we have AWS Activate for early stage startups, and this gives you access to funding and guidance, business or technical. Then as you grow, we have the AWS Partner Network, where we'll help co-sell and co-market with you. We have the Startup Loft, which is a whole range of resources, free webinars, one-on-one sessions, things like that. We have the Impact Accelerator, which is a program to help underrepresented founders scale their startups. And actually, in our last cohort, we had 2 Web3 companies, the Crypto Mom app and FlyWallet, which we are super pumped about. We want more Web3 companies coming through these programs. We have a ton of partner and investor affiliations, which we're happy to bridge communication for you. We have in-house Web3 and startup industry experience. We hire a lot of people from companies such as your own to come in, learn AWS, and then give that guidance back out to the industry. And then lastly, we have training and certification to help upskill your team for working with cloud applications in a Web3 space. So that's what I have here. A QR code for AWS Activate. If you want to get started, that's an easy way to start. Thanks for joining me. My name is Dimitri Restaino. If you have any questions, anything AWS, I'll be here tonight, tomorrow. Please feel free, reach out. Thank you.